Hi, I'm Bet from BettesMakes, and today we're going to be making a layered turkey. Now, the parts and pieces are already taken apart for you, so we're just going to go over some of the things that we can do with what we have as layers and how to make adjustments with them when you feel that there are too many layers and it's going to be too difficult to put together. So that's the important part. Now, the file we're using, I'm just going to go to uploads here, and this one is called Turkey and then Mandela, and this was by Design Bundles, and I'll give you the link below if you want to do this one on your own, or you can choose another turkey if you wish. Now, to get back from my uploads, if you don't know it, I just have to click on the word canvas. Now, I don't need the words here, layered turkey, so I'm just going to get rid of them. I already have my file in place, and they're already set up as basic cuts. So what I want to do here is ungroup these, and I want to take this turkey apart. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers here, and I feel 5 is way too many. Now, the top layer is simply an outline of the turkey. Now, I'm not too sure if I want to use that or not. Let's just expand this a bit. So that's just a thin outline that would go on the top. And I don't think that we really want to use that one. So I'm just going to turn the eyeball off on it, which leaves us 4 other layers. Now, this is the one that's closest to the top. And we have another one here, and then finally our orange one at the back. So what we're going to do is take a look and see what we can use for a layer. If I leave that orange one out, what is going to happen here? Well, the 3 layers to me actually work a lot better than having the 4th layer in place, but that is up to you. Now, there's another way we can look at this as well. I can add the orange and then the yellow and just leave it this way, so it's much easier to put together. When you start getting something as intricate as this and you're working with vinyl or paper, it becomes really tough to get it in order. It's bad enough with what we have here. So my decision today is we are going to use just 3 layers. I always recommend 3 or 4, never more than that, because it gets really complicated. But I'm not going to delete this. I am simply going to turn it off so we don't see it, and then we end up with these 3 layers, which is just perfectly fine. And I'm just trying to see what size these are. These are 8 inches by 8 inches, not so bad. So we can actually do this right away. So first thing, not to worry about the color of everything. We know what's going on top and what's going in the middle. I'm going to change them all to the same color. And the reason I do that is just so that I can monitor which mats I'm going to be using. I should be able to get a couple of cuts on one mat. They are 8 inches by 8 inches, so I'm not too sure if I have 3 separate mats or not at this point. So I'm going to save our project, and I've already saved it as layered turkey. Now, if this blue line stays up here, you just want to click the check mark, and then we're going to go over here to make it. And I'm going to turn on my maker, and we're going to do this on mat. And I'll just click done. And I do get them on 3 different mats, so it really didn't make any difference. Now, I am going to use a medium cardstock. So now I have to decide what is going to be the background color. And I have picked out a couple of colors here on my desktop, and I've picked out 4 different colors. So I'm going to decide that maybe a brown is going to fit for the first mat. And then I'm going to use an orange and a yellow. So the orange will be the top one, and the other 2 layers that I had picked out before we're not going to use at this point in time. I'm going to put these out of the way so I don't get confused with it. So I have the 3 colors. So we're pretty well ready to go ahead and give this a cut. So let's just click on continue. It's going to connect with my Maker 3. And I'm just going for a medium cardstock, and all it is going to do is cut it. Now my cardstock doesn't feel like it's an 80 pound. It feels more like a 65. So I'm actually going to change my material here. And we're going to see what we've got for 65 in here. I'll just type in 65 and light cardstock 65. Okay, I'm going to click done with this. I like a thinner cardstock when I'm doing layering, because then I can layer it and then I can use it as a decoration later. I can put it on a stand or whatever I decide to do with it. So let's now go over and start loading up the machine. I am going to change us over to the other camera so that we can see what's going on my demo desk. And there we go. You can see the cardstocks, the 3 cardstocks that I had picked to put it on. So it's going to be on the first mat, the second mat, and the third mat. And I know this is 8.5 inches, so it should fit quite well with what we've got. If I go back, I would be able to tell more about which one would be working for us. And it looks like this will work just fine. Okay, let me just grab a mat here. And I'm going to use the same mat for all of them. So protective covering, we're doing the back one first. So I think I'll be okay. I'm just going to move it to the quarter mark just to make sure I've got enough room. And of course, I'm going to use my brayer tool to hold things in place. I don't always use 12 by 12 paper. And the reason is that I find 8.5 by 11 has some wonderful colors and textures, and we don't always need things that big or expensive. So let's just load our mat. Looks like a little fluff here. Oh, that looks perfect. You can see it just came right to the edge here. Now, because I'm going to be using the same mat over and over, I'm just going to pull off my excess here initially, and then I'm just going to turn my mat over and release my first turkey here. This is the back. Oh, this is going to be a lovely table decoration. Okay, so now on to the next one. Let's remove the debris, and the second layer I'm going to do in yellow. Let's move this back a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing, just down and over just a little bit to make sure I've got enough room for everything. Use my brayer tool. Just make sure my paper's in place. Now, every time you go to load a new mat, Cricut is going to be asking you what paper that you want. And I didn't favorite my 65 pound, but I'm going to have to move it to favorites and then click on it and click done. Now I should be able to load my mat. Once again, I'll have to pull it a little closer. All right, let's unload that mat. You can see I loaded this one up, ready to go. Now I'm going to have to go back and pick my material again. And so we'll go to my favorites, 65 pound. All right, we are ready to go. Let's load our mat. I always hold my mat just at the edge just to make sure it loads evenly. There we go. All right, we have finished doing all of our cutting. I'll just make sure that design space is happy here and I will close it down. So I'm just going to finish it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start putting other things together. So I'm going to turn my machine off, move it out of the way, and bring our project right front and center. So we have the back one already. This is the more complicated one. And then, of course, the middle layer. So I'm going to roll my turkey off, and hopefully, with any luck, it will leave behind all the debris that I do not want to have. Sure. Now look at that. We've got our turkey stuck on there. So now what happened when I rolled it off, it left all of the extra pieces and the outline of the turkey right on the mat. Now all I have to do now is just clean this off, and I have my next layer all ready to go. So let's just move this guy over here, and I will clean that off later. No need to do it right now. Now we're going to hope that the same thing will happen for here. Just going to roll off the mat. Well, looks like I got the outside edge off, no problem. But I want to get the outline of the turkey, so I'm just going to pull it gently and may have to do some weeding. Just pull it away. Here, come off. Gentle, gentle. And there we go. So it's left a lot of the debris right on the mat, so I don't have to worry about it too much. I can clean those off later. I'll just get rid of these extra little pieces right now, get them off the desk so that we can now work on our turkey. Now, this is a fun project for kids because all we're going to do now is just start lining stuff up. We don't have to glue on the inside. We just have to make sure that the outside pieces match. And the same will happen when we hit this. And I just want to make sure that we've got all the little pieces out of there. Doesn't seem to be there's any extra. Looks like they all stayed on the mat. And I'll double check this one as well. Yeah, everything looks good. Okay, just a little bit of debris to get rid of. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this yellow one. I'm just going to flip it over. I'm just going to use my little glue mat here. And I'm just going to give it around the outside edges and just a little bit. I don't need a lot because I don't need it coming through. So I'll just put little dots, but I do need to go around the entire outside edge. Just a little, what do they call it? A little dab will do you right here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, the key here is to try and not get it all over your fingers. That's my favorite thing to do. I'm just going to put my brown one down here, hold these in the center. Lining it up is one of the key things you want to do. Now, I've used a tacky glue, and I didn't go right to the outside edges, but as you can see, I can easily get that. And even if there's a little piece left over here, with the tacky glue, I don't have to worry so much about getting it in the exact position right away. I was just placing it at the top to start, and look at that. Our first layer is already there. You can pull these feathers out, and I'm going to show you a couple of cute little tricks that you can do. Now, the same thing is going to happen here. We're going to layer this one on the inside, but we need to add our glue to the outside edges. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'll start up here. I don't want it right to the edge, but I'm going to be close. Just a little glue on the outside. It's a great little turkey, and this is going to be a super decoration. Now, this is pretty large, and it'll make a great table centerpiece. Remember, I don't want it right to the edge because it will seep out. Okay, just make a little bead right here. Great. Okay, lid back on. And then once again, I'm going to just slide this out of the way, bring our other turkey over. I'm going to hold it by the center. Now what we want to do is line it up. And you want to line up the top pieces first. So once you've got those lined up the way you want them, then it's going to be easy just on the outside edges in order to get the rest of it. Now, see, that doesn't look quite right to me right there, but it's close. So I'm just going to move this over a little bit. And that's why I use the tacky glue, so I can move things just a little bit when I want to. Okay. That looks really great. Now, you could probably move this one over just a little bit. Get them right on top here. There we go. That's why the tacky glue is so nice, because then you can just move things as you need to, and it's only on the outside, so it's going to make a big difference. Now, this is how our project turns out, but besides we didn't lock any of these in, I'm going to show you a little trick here to make this really cute. And we're going to open these up. We're going to have a few ruffled feathers here. We're going to work our way around. So it's just not a flat piece of art. It is something that has a little life in 3D to it as well. Pull these apart. Right here. Wow, that looks fabulous. And then you can do the same thing with these parts as well. If you want to bring them up. A couple of them here. And because we didn't glue them down, this is so much easier to make it a very 3D effect. Should pull lots of things up here. Now these ones all look fine for the feathers, but then it gives you this nice 3D look. If you can see it from this angle here, you can see where it pokes out quite a bit. So this is going to be an absolutely fabulous little decoration. So I hope you had a lot of fun with this, and until next time, happy crafting.